On today's episode of Action Figure Fridays, we're going to be taking a look at the Marvel Legends Gamerverse Kingpin. Starting things out with accessories, we get a pair of fists, both with a hinge in the middle of the wrist. We get a right holding hand for his cane, as you can see on camera, and also obviously we get the cane. This right holding hand has a hinge in the middle of the wrist. And we also get a left holding hand, but this one's a little different. This one is meant to hold the cane from the top as opposed to this side. This wrist or this hinge, this hand thing as well. Oh God. Okay, the wrist is on the middle. The wrist is on the middle. Whoo! The hinge is on the middle of the wrist on this hand as well. There we go. Got it. We get two different head sculpts with them. This one being more so of an angry, focused look. And last, the second head sculpt having more of a happy grin. Now, you want to know who this looks like though? You guys remember the Costco guys, the dad and the son who recently became famous? I don't know their names. All I know is that they started with the whole Costco, and then they give you like 50 booms for whatever reason. He looks like the dad. This particular face looks like the Costco guy's dad. Let me know if you can see that in the comments below because I can't unsee it. Okay, so for articulation, there's not much happening here, so we're gonna run through it real quick. Looking at the upper body, we got a double ball peg at the neck and head, allowing you to tilt a little bit here and there, rotate. He can look down, or he can't really look down. He can look up a tiny bit, but if you keep going up, his head will pop off, so just be careful with that. The shoulders are on a hinge and a peg. He can go out that far and then obviously rotate all the way around. We have a single jointed elbow that allows him to give you basically 90 degrees or short of 90 degrees. This also acts as his little bicep swivel, allowing you to rotate outwards and inwards. And then we already covered the hands. I believe this is the Mr. Jekyll body or Mr. Hyde body. I don't know the name of that one figure. It was a Build-A-Figure. So he has that ball peg here at the torso, allowing you to crunch just a little bit, go back a decent amount, and then rotate right there at the diaphragm with nothing at the waist. Looking at the lower body, there is a ball peg at the hips, allowing you to go out a tiny bit, bring it back in, forward a decent amount, back not so much. You get a thigh swivel, single jointed knee going up that far. You can rotate at the knee if you choose to, and then bringing it down, you get your hinge that allows the foot to go that far back, that far forward, and then rotate a little bit as needed. I believe you can also rotate at the foot. Yeah, you can rotate the foot outward and then inward, and that's about it. Hopping into size comparisons from the left to the right, we got the Maximum Spider-Man, the first game Miles Morales, the first release, and then the second game Black Suit Spider-Man. And then to wrap it up, here is some comparisons with some bigger characters, that being the 2-pack Hulk, and then the Thanos from the Psylocke versus Thanos 2-pack. Final thoughts, love it or hate it, here's my opinion. This is a very simple and straightforward release. That doesn't necessarily make it bad. I think in this particular case, it's actually good. There's some things that I wish they would have done a little different, but overall, I don't regret purchasing this figure, so that's a good thing. Now, I've been wanting a black suit Kingpin for a while, and I'm very happy to have this. However, he does not look like his video game counterpart. If anything, he looks a little disproportionate compared to the video game counterpart, and I think that's probably one of the biggest flaws that this figure has. The head looks a little too big, and also the fists slash hands. And here's my take on it. I feel like this figure is more of a representation of the Into the Spider-Verse, or yeah, the first Spider-Verse Kingpin, where he had the black suit. And I feel like somebody said, okay, let's take that design and make it a little more realistic. And then they ended up with this, and they just slapped a Gamerverse Spider-Man 2 logo on the box. That's what this feels like to me. It does not feel like the first game Kingpin that we fought in the beginning of the game. By any means, it's not that, but it's definitely a Kingpin, if that makes sense. So it's not bad, but it's just not what it's advertising to be, in my opinion. Also, you can remove the suit piece from him. All you have to do is pop out the arms and you get this look right here. I'm not a big fan of this. I actually think this looks very ugly, but I know some people like it. And, you know, who am I to critique, right? So here's this look right here. And just kind of to wrap it up, it's a decent release. I'm fairly happy with it. I do wish we would have kind of done a couple more updates, such as giving him double jointed elbows. I think that would have been great, especially for Kingpin, because even though he is a big character, he is a big character that can throw down, right? And to have something that's very limited just kind of irritates me from a character's perspective. However, it's not the worst figure. It's not the worst repaint that I've seen compared to all the 5-6 Spider-Man in this Spider-Verse, or not Spider-Verse, the Spider-Man Gamerverse wave. This is probably the better repaint compared to all of those stacked together. But that's my take on this. Yours might be a little different, and that's perfectly fine. I wasn't really expecting to like this figure as much, but that's not really saying much because it's not like I love it. I'm just satisfied with it, if that makes sense. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. This brings us to the end of another Action Figure Friday, and I hope to catch you all next time. Peace.